Welcome back, folks, for episode 3 of We Own This City, the review recap show hosted by Lucas and myself, Najir, here to break it all down for you all. Have you all been enjoying the series thus far? I think a lot of you have. There's been a lot of feedback. I think overall folks have found their next fix. I think this show kind of filled a little void for a type of show, a type of genre that a lot of folks are interested in. So, good for them, man. And I think 3 episodes in, I'm still enjoying this. And but regardless if I wasn't, I always enjoy kicking back with Uncle Lou as we do what we do best, breaking these shows down. But yeah, this is episode 3, titled Part 3 of a 6-part mini series of things happening in Baltimore, the city I love. Look,
I was about to say clearly somebody's falling in love with this show. He went from hating on y'all to wearing a shirt that says Baltimore. Oh man, he about to start saying 222. He about to
listen. My story arc is developing while we get these reviews done.
Hey, next review, episode 4. We will be doing remotely from Baltimore.
Nah, but seriously, we appreciate all the love, feedback, and so on, commentary about this show. Just let the show quickly, while they're a part of the synopsis I want to read, but I also have my own take on what's happening in this episode. It's more or less as we see Wayne Jenkins still dissecting yet understanding the way of being a police officer in Baltimore. Because it's multi-part. I mean, like, we'll talk about it, but in short, he was understanding the muscle side of it and how to navigate through the law. Now he's understanding the benefits, the perks, the monetary he can almost call it compensation, because he's like, well, I did this for the city, so they owe me this sort of style. But he's learning those ways. But in the meantime, too, Herschel, who's been getting all the complaints. Just in case you're not keeping up with names, this is the one that has been beaten ass, numerous complaints. I think they say like 43, and he got a promotion. Make it make sense, folks. Like, it's no better job ever than Baltimore police officer.
Hey, clearly. And you do your job as illegal as humanly possible and get a promotion. Well,
to the
like
GTTF.
Congress, no difference. But it's just
and then Jensen is monitoring Gondo's phone, so nothing's changed with that. But yeah, in my short synopsis, we got a bunch of cops who are going back telling their ladies that they're superheroes. Maybe Suiter's the only one that can make that rightful claim, but everybody else is doing all this dirt. But going back home, like, look what I'm doing, folks. I'm turning the city around. At the same time, these folks out here stealing money left and right, and also not even breaking down with their brothers. And now all that's catching up with them. So, a lot to talk about tonight. But Lou, let me throw it to you, because I talked a little bit too much in this beginning. What's your overall assessment of this episode? I might say the show, but this episode.
This episode was, I think, the full awakening of everyone else in the unit. We got to see 2 key people, but now this episode did a great job of showing us how something you think is minute and small can just destroy everything humanly possible. From the Sarge just taking a little piece, he thought it was a little something, nothing important. And then later on the episode, you see the huge ramifications that comes along from doing something so small. And then my man on the phone, I wanted to call him Mamadou. That is not his name.
Yeah, it is.
Damn, Mamadou. Just being as stupid as possible. I mean, if it's just one person that you'd be like, this nigga, just be quiet. Nigga, you don't need a phone. It's him. Like, every time he gets on that phone, he just saying shit he has no business saying on the cell phone, Joe.
Oh my goodness.
Did he just miss all the 80s gangster films about talking on phones and not talking in code? This nigga don't use a code for anything.
And listen, I'm not even going to say he went the stupid ass stereotypical route, like he's flexing for his wife or his girl, whatever she is. He's just flat out stupid. It doesn't matter who's on that other phone. You know what I mean? Again, he's preaching the gospel like he's doing the Lord's work out here, but like still, it doesn't matter who he's talking to. He's airing it all out,
giving to her. I'm doing all this for you, like I'm doing all this for you and our family, and you out here giving me complaints about working overtime. I'm out this Jones stealing bricks for us, like
seriously. Oh man. I tell you what, if we didn't already know we're hit, well, obviously not even by the real, knowing in the real life, but obviously by the earlier episodes,
we know where this is going for him, and it makes perfectly good sense.
But
if it has ever been a cop who deserved to go to jail, you're like, yeah, nigga, yes. And it ain't even about it is not even about the overly crooked shit he did. It's just about his utter stupidity to everything around him, and you're like, man, no, you need to go to jail.
Yeah.
Like it's dirty cops like you that make the job for other dirty cops who are good bad.
FBI's having to feel. I mean, listen, homegirls out here playing her instruments, like literally on the job, but actually doing an effective job because he's doing it, making it so easy for her. That's how you
can tell it's easy. When a motherfucker break out a cello, and I know it wasn't a cello, so don't get on me for that. But when nigga break out an instrument, and dog, I'm supposed to listen to a wiretap, and she like, don't worry about it. He gonna give it all anyway.
Yeah. Anywho, this episode starts off with another cop in cuffs. This time, Sergeant Thomas Allers.
The typical white Baltimore police officer.
Yeah,
it sounds like a brother.
Yeah, it's a couple of things to make with him because I kind of want to knock him out real quick. I mean, like you said, something he thought was really simple, something he thought all the boys were doing.
Yep,
he went in there, and like let's actually just cover him. Period. From the moment they had to stop with this brother, I'm gonna get his name right, Davon Robertson.
Yes,
they pull him over, and they frisk him, do all they got to do in his car, and poor brother Davon Robertson doesn't know his rights, and I don't even know if it even matters. I mean, you can chime in your thoughts about that, but they were looking for a gun in his stuff. There's no gun, so he's like, hey, help us out, man. Maybe we can go to your house and get a quick looky. I am thoroughly confused. Number one, how you are clean right now, and you decide to even let them go any moment beyond this, and then you had stuff at home. So why would you even invite them home? That's no here nor there. I definitely want you to chime in on this, but they get there, and this is where we see Sergeant Thomas Allers lie to his brothers, the other three, the one that probably put him on game. That's the interesting thing. Who was the first to start saying this is the hustle? But he didn't break bread with them. He lied. He even told them when what's his name tried to get his when he tried to get his 6-piece combo Ryman. How do you say his name? Raymond, thank you. He trying to do the report, which is this dynamic is interesting because he's actually thoroughly trying to do the report down.
He's not trying to do a report. I'll get into that. That shit ain't had nothing to do with the report. What he was trying to do is test him.
Yeah.
And say, so like, I'm doing this report. How much money we get out?
True.
How much money? Like he was running a game to try to get him to say, oh man, man, I meant to break bread with y'all. That's what he was trying his best to do.
Yeah, true. Right. And he didn't give him hush money. He gave him a 6-piece combo hush meal.
Exactly. That's disrespectful, Joe. I will not help you steal $10,000 and you buy me a value meal.
The chicken boxes out there, they're worth noting, folks. You go out to Baltimore and get you a chicken box. I don't know the spots. I ain't from Baltimore, but
hey, the roughest parts of Baltimore too. Don't you go to no pretty parts and try to get no chicken box. Nah, you need to go to the hood.
For sure.
Chicken box.
And listen, a chicken box may sway over the right person to do whatever. So
like make sure you go right to the store where it looks like it's a couple niggas doing the Matrix right outside that motherfucker. Those are the chicken box. Those are the places you need to go get the chicken box from.
But yeah, I mean, like you said, the smallest thing that he thought he's just going to weather the storm, he stole the money. He stole, what was it? Not 10,000. Was it 10,000?
I thought it was 10,000.
Okay, took $10,000 or whatever money, because I know y'all gonna be ready to correct us. He took a significant amount of money, and he didn't break bread with his brothers, and thus now that everybody's being brought in, years later, everybody's out here snitching. They like listen, and like it does change your posture a little bit on Jamel, because you're like, this dude is just snitching all crazy, and he ain't just snitching in terms of just like trying to get out and whatever. Who may be in his ear telling him, it's like a mal vendetta against folks saying like, oh, so like I'm getting charged for blah, blah, blah. But hold on, I didn't even see the money on that one. So wait a minute now. Cause like he probably did get hit with hey, this guy, we'll talk a little bit more about everything else with this, but he's probably like, hey, we got y'all on this. This wasn't reported. That's number one. It was this amount of much money. And then obviously the murder. And dude's probably was like, oh no, I didn't break bread on that. So he told it out.
Hey,
not really snitching on that angle.
Man, I swear, you got to be more careful who you trust and who you work with. This nigga that went and gave up the ghost on everybody with no issue. But as you said, even going back to the traffic stop. So here's the thing.
Yeah.
When he was at that traffic stop and he told him, oh man, you ain't got no license. He said, my license is good. I ain't got it on me. The next step will be to impound his car. So they say, well, instead of us doing all of that, we get a little look inside your apartment. Keep in mind, all he had in the apartment really was the money, because they didn't really catch anything else in there but the money. So he's thinking, my apartment clean. Not a problem, man. I ain't trying to lose my car. I ain't trying to go through this bullshit with y'all today. I'm going to let y'all in. And then he goes to steal that money. And then, again, everything that happens afterwards. You steal that money from him. You didn't think of the consequences of who he may have owed that money to. And as they said, you get certain work on consignment, when the bill is due, the bill is due. There's no such thing as I got robbed. Yeah, no one cares about that.
Yeah.
And then, unfortunately, the way murders work, if anything you did plays a part in that murder, you get charged for that murder. So for him stealing that money and that money being stole ends up being the reason for one of the killers saying we killed him because he owed us money. How much he owed y'all? X amount of money. Hold up. X amount of money is the exact amount of money you took from him. Guess what? You're an accomplice to his murder. There's no difference.
Yeah. I like how that was kind of left open for interpretation for the viewers, because if you don't know, you kind of looking at this like when he said I never hurt nobody, and dude was like, oh, you haven't? Oh, okay. So by the way, these things happen.
It's the way they set him up though, because they literally had him tell them the whole story when they knew what he did and they knew the ending already.
Yeah.
So they just like, oh, we're just gonna let you tell us everything. So now you can't go back and say, oh, I had no parts in it. You already admitted to everything. Because you admitted to robbing him, you just became an accomplice in his murder. So it was great police work. A hell of a setup.
Yeah. You don't, I mean, listen, you don't get this type of action on First 48, because First 48, just listen, they give you the cigarette and everything comes out. This one was actually like a pit move. They bolted him into this corner and they got what they needed. Like I
just not know how to be quiet when you get arrested.
Listen, the lawyer right next to him does not get paid.
Oh no, the lawyer got paid. The lawyer's thinking, oh, so you already told him this story. I need to confirm with my client. Like, that's what it is. You're just like, you done told him this shit already. Ain't nothing I can do. If I was the lawyer, should hit the SpongeBob right there. Be like, I'm gonna head out. Ain't got nothing to do with me no more. I can't do nothing for you.
Jesus. Oh my goodness. Yeah, we'll probably touch up a little bit more on Thomas Allers in a minute.
Just
let's
because
go
of the way he plays into everyone else. Because again, let me quickly say this, because they also did bring up an amazing point. You're the sergeant in this unit. The head person on the totem pole is you. You're alone from the DEA while you're doing all of this. Like, no matter what, when that investigation hit, he was going to be the head on the stake.
Yeah.
Everyone else is going to fall under him.
And maybe not, because I think the biggest emphasis is that this goes up the chain of command and just spreads all over. This is a virus that's going on within
Baltimore.
Yeah.
Well, and all I'm saying, I'm going to do what I'm saying, within every police department.
Yeah. So like I said, going to now Mr. Daniel Herschel, who has had, as I believe, 43 complaints, as we learned from last episode, as he met with FBI agent Steele.
Yeah.
And what's important about that is, well, let's take a step back and remembering that his whole demeanor is like, I can't be touched. I all this that you have, none of that stuck. It is what it is. And that mindset breeds the ego, which will breed narcissism. And that's very dangerous for a cop, like, for real. And beyond that, like, what is he already accused of? Beating ass and 43 complaints, which tells me, if I know how to do the math, that's almost 100 people that got their ass beat.
Yeah.
Because only half of that actually made it to documentation.
In fact, it's probably way more than that.
Oh, yeah. For sure. Yeah. But yeah, and it's for one moment when you say, hey, come in, we gotta talk to you. For one moment you thought it was about to get bad. That's the other common denominator. Common denominator. That's I need a good word here. The pattern, we'll just go pattern within here, is that every time somebody think they in trouble, now the higher ups got them. Nothing to worry about. It's all good here. But all those complaints got him nothing but a promotion to the GTTF. Now, we know the GTTF is under scrutiny because of the show, but in his eyes, and as you see by his reaction, this is a win. He gets pulled from out of one part of Baltimore, East Baltimore, and he thought he was getting pulled off the streets, period. He thought he was about to get on desk duty. He gets the keys to the entire city, and then he gets to drop uniform, because now at this point he's playing clothes. You literally have told a UFC fighter that, hey, you know how your hands are registered and whatnot? Hey, it's okay. It's not a problem.
Just go into a bar and start a fight.
Yeah. please do all the cocaine and liquor that you want, and we'll see how the night goes for you. Like, and it's okay, because we'll just probably give you we'll give you the purse for the bar at the end of the day. Like, how many people bought into the bar? Exactly. That's your money for the night. So, but like, it's just crazy to think that these are the developments here. Like, one episode, like, this dude felt untouchable, and you think like foreshadowing says, oh, something's coming to him. No, he got a promotion.
Now, one thing this confused me about the most, the way this time frame is running.
Yeah,
because he got promoted into that organization
2016.
The Justice Department got in Baltimore, I want to say, I know the
right after Freddie Gray,
GTTF, they went down in 2017.
Yes.
So I'm guessing from this time is them building a case against him.
Yeah.
So at the whole time we seeing these people locked up, and then initially in the first episode, and then we see Herschel. I always thought those are two different time frames. Not understanding that actually, while it is, I thought it was happening simultaneously. Let me say that, not two different times. I thought it was happening at the same exact time, and it's not. Because
right.
Now we're seeing that he was put into the GTFF, so he's actually part of this thing anyway that happens with them. So
right. And two things. For show purposes, it is absolutely confusing about the timelines, and I know they're given title screen, but typically in time jumps, appearance differences is usually another trigger to help you between the two. Because why they say like, oh, this is January 2016, and then I think they say it was like a 15-16 month gap between the two and whatnot. It's still hard to tell because they're not staying consistently in 2016. They have jumped around, because like, even when you think about Wayne Jenkins and you think like, well, one moment they're calling him the golden child because he's like the big one. Then the next minute they like completely still treat him like a newbie. It's a little bit hard to kind of follow the context at time. But in this case, and I think I'm about to lose my point I was about to make. But in this case with him, I think the biggest context to remember is the end game is that he went down under GTTF. He didn't go down as being just a normal police officer. So like, right. So that's where like, and like you said, they went down around 2017. About close early 18. So like, it's getting right to that point. But on the other end, for show purposes, when you think about the FBI, I mean, this is only adding more and more ammunition for them because they're just like, hold on. Because Nicole she's doing the work. She's not getting much. She's not making.
Well, hold up. See, that and that's the other part we got to keep in mind. Remember, Nicole is not working with the FBI. So you have the FBI, then you have the Justice Department.
Right.
So she's not even.
Justice. She's Justice.
The weird part is she's looking. The Civil Rights Division. Mm-hmm. So she's looking more into the civil rights possible violations of the police department.
That's why
she's trying to get more information. The FBI is completely building a case on police corruption.
Yes.
And that's what threw me off, because as we see the FBI building the case and we see her building her case, at times it didn't seem like they were parallel to one another.
Right.
But now, I think for me especially, this episode helped clear it up that, oh no, all this is parallel to one another. Like the building up the cases at the same time. And I think it threw me off because we saw Jenkins get arrested, and then we saw Herschel on the street, and I'm like, oh, like, so they arrested him, but he's still on the street doing what he doing? It's like, no, different timelines.
Yeah,
like they arrested him then, but now we're going back in time, and that's when we're seeing Herschel with all his crookedness coming up.
Yeah, well said. Thank you for clearing that up. I'm going to now Police Commissioner Kevin Davis, who stated that every 6 months gets a new job. That's why nobody takes him serious. So any type of complaint, issues they have, or whatever it may be that's going around that may hit his desk, what's the point? Because it's not going to be relevant to him in a little bit.
Yep.
I have never heard a posture like this ever. This right here is like the epitome of corruption, because he's basically saying, like, I mean, I love analogies, folks, but like, this is almost saying, like, for those folks who had those when Circuit City went online, then it was like, hey, we're gonna open up a few more stores again, and you was like, yeah, I'm gonna get an extended like warranty on something. Forget it, because the company's gone once again. And then you're like, well, I'll just get HH Grid because, you know, they're a second coming. Well, okay, well, good luck with that too, because they're also gone. I mean, he's literally sticking and moving, but getting promotions, because like, right, he was commissioner here, he becomes whatever's higher up, but he does get a promotion, which is another thing in his own. But that also kind of, well, you know, spoiler. But it's here's the big thing: no one's getting fired. All this shit's happening, and no one's getting fired.
Hey, if you thought that blue line of protection was just a television show thing, and I know you're watching the television show, so you're like, well, what you mean by that? Nah, keep on. This is a true story. They will. I hate to jump a little bit, but when Wayne got caught up in that situation and they stole him, oh no, you're an earner for us. We will always protect you. Understand, like, when you're dealing with the police, that is the way this goes. No matter what, they're going to protect each other. So when you see certain situations where it seems like they're going against each other, or someone's not corrupt and they're telling on their officers, now you see why they don't do it. Because the moment you cross that line, you just like a regular person to them.
Yeah. So I mean, you know, why this wasn't a big part of the episode, it was very important to understand that, like, if you're thinking like any type of, I don't want to say internal affairs, but any type of internal reporting or conflict issue or whatever it may be, HR, for what? Because it's never going to go anywhere. And he literally says, like, yeah, these things kind of come about, but like no one actually cares, because they know, like, in a minute I'm just going to have another position. So I don't know how in the world systematically who designed this to be almost flawless at this point.
Hey, the police. Look here, it's only 2 jobs you can have, right? 3, possibly, but 2 I'm going to especially say that anyone can get. 2 jobs that you can have where you can fuck up religiously and get promotions. It is the police department, and it is the school system. Between those two, you can fuck up religiously and constantly get promoted because they do a job. They have a union. They do all this other shit to protect each other no matter what. And that's the sick shit here. And he says, like, who you complain to? Can you complain to HR if HR is also sexually harassing you? It's like it leaves you no one to go to. And that's the messed up part about that this show highlights to you is like, yeah, remember all those good cops you saw on The Wire that were all doing their job? This is the other side of that. Cops are not doing a damn thing.
Holy hell, man. This is hard to digest, I gotta tell you. Anyway, Wayne Jenkins and Sergeant Mikey Fries.
Yeah.
We see them doing some policing. They got a bust. And Wayne is still pretty pure at this point.
Yes.
A little bit. We know he's because I need to break this down because I want to make sure we all on the same page of how I feel about Wayne at this time. Wayne understands he's a muscle. Not a muscle to anybody, but a muscle to almost to the streets in sense of like, if I call authority to the streets, if it's something I want to do, they're going to respect me either because of the badge or because I talk it. And he talks a hot one, and you know, some people are going to bend to it, some people are going to try him. It is what it is. But he just feels like that's how he proves that he's a cop and being a muscle. Like he wants to get out there, he wants to be on the streets and do what he got to do. That leaves a lot of other room as to things he actually could be good at. Being a good husband, family man, you know, and so on. But to this point, why it's important because it's like when Mikey Fry said, listen, your job is more important than your wife. Fuck your wife. We got a job to do. That's another man telling him that fuck your wife. We got a job to do. Here's what's important about this. Because anytime anybody tries to flex on Wayne at any given point, he's tensing up. He's like, okay, you're a tough guy. What's up? And you notice how like on the job, it's a whole different environment for him. Still trying to find his way, as I said in the beginning. So we'll come back to Wayne in a little bit. Sean Suter, homicide. You know, the storyline that's kind of off to the side a little bit, but starting to drive in lane now. He's trying to figure out what's going down with that alley shooting, and he talks to police officer Dixon, and Dixon tells him about police casings that was discovered. Notice that Sean did not initially know about this, and then he was like, well, we can go down there and find out if you want to, you want to know what it is. And at this point now, he's trying to put the case together. He's doing real police officer work and detective work, shall I add. And he ends up getting a match, that realizing that the bullets are connected to something else and whatnot, and so on. So he's doing what he has to do on that note. That, I think that's all we can kind of leave with that right now. Is
for the murder investigation. Yeah, I paid more attention to who was the person that got arrested again.
I don't know, just
because his time frame is also confusing a little bit.
Well, the only thing you can tell with the difference with this is glasses and no glasses, or suit and no suit.
No, but I know, but that goes back to 2005 when he was with Jenkins.
Yes,
but here, is he in the current time frame? Has he seen Wayne get it? Well, I know he's in the current time frame because him and Wayne had a confrontation with one another, and then Wayne went to the station and got arrested. So he's in front. He's beyond the investigation that the other cops are currently going through. This storyline is evolved past that. Yes. So you gotta wonder, how is this storyline going to tie into that storyline? Also, what happened with him in 2005 is highly important because how long was he also on the take?
Yeah.
Like, these are things you got to worry, because I knew it was coming. I definitely knew it was coming, that everybody's a little dirty. And you got to pay attention to, I would say, pay the most attention to when Wayne and the other cop are talking in the bar. And they say, can you trust him? And the other cops say, well, you were traded with him. You should know. To make sure that I can trust you, I have to get dirt on you.
Yeah.
And the first chance that Wayne got the opportunity
that wasn't said, but that's a mentality.
Yeah.
It's an insurance policy.
Yeah. The moment he had the opportunity to, that's why he tested him. Oh man, we can go ahead and after Wayne goes ballistic, and we can go ahead and split this. He didn't object to it. Then you took the money. Guess what? You were in the same boat with me. So it kind of makes you think about the tension that they had in the first episode when they first meet up with one another before Wayne gets arrested. And they meet up, and you can see that while Wayne portraying like they're cool, he clearly does not like him anymore. So we got to see what happened between them two. And again, we got to see this murder that he's chasing. How is it going to connect with everything else?
Yes, that's right. That is right. So anyway, going back to Wayne. Wayne is out here doing what they were doing last episode, making sure everybody's off the streets, because hey, if nobody's on the streets, then no murders happen. The murder numbers are down. Then we all know the rest about that. Anyway, it's just, they see these two dudes on the stoop, beat his ass. Yeah, on their stoop.
Well, look here, damn it. Come on, man. Hey, look.
Fucked up. It's fucked up.
Look. Well, I do not advocate violence against police officers. Niggas get shot that way. I don't give a fuck if you're a cop or not. If I'm on my porch or my property and you come on my property, you better have a warrant. You better have something. You better have a cause for suspicion. Because if you don't, your ass ain't walking off of it.
Problems, yeah.
Like, hey, this is again, but it's crazy for this time period. Again, this is a television show. This is based off of true things and actual policing tactics at times. Like, that was the thing they were told. And I'm not saying every officer that did that was bad, because they weren't, but they were given the directive from their higher ups. Like, nah, this is the way, this is the way we prevent murders.
Yeah.
Beat them till they go inside their house. Yeah. So someone doesn't just randomly come up and shoot them.
Yeah. I'll talk a little bit more about that in a second, but yeah, he beat dude down on the stoop, and he gets back and he gets called into the office. And as you mentioned earlier, it appeared that it was going to be bad news, and he is sweating bullets. He's copping pleas just for them to say that, bro, we got you. It's all good. Listen, if you're going to do a report, this shit needs to be better. He basically told him to F11 this bitch and like make sure that like your grammar and shit is correct. Like don't just be out here talking that bullshit. But like, it's a systematic plan to protect them. And he said, listen, when you do a report, you have to emphasize the threat to your safety over everything. Everything else follows beyond that. But you have to make sure. And like, it's crazy because Wayne adapted quickly. He started to talk about the bottle and how the bottle was there and it broke, and then it transformed into thrown at him, and he said, I pretty much I had to dodge it. It was crazy. It was coming right for me and whatnot. And this is just literally the development, the revelation of a monster that they're creating. He's now learning more. So here's what we know now. Moments before that, he thought by being a police officer, again, it was by being muscle, letting the folks on the street know that if I'm out here, you respecting me. Like, if not, I'm beating your ass. And he instantly comes back and he thinks like he's done. He didn't realize that like, oh, he can get repercussions of it. So he thought he can act as long as he didn't get caught. Now he realizes he can get caught and it don't matter. He just got to make sure he does his report right. It's crazy.
Crazy. I'm going to say this. Just a little insight on, because we've been doing reviews constantly, and I know some people like, well, what the hell do Lucas do for a living? I'm gonna give you a little insight without saying exactly what I do. So, part of my training, I was told, do you know the difference between a good shoot and a bad shoot? Everybody in class like, well, what's the difference? Like, you give the logical answer that, because you did the right thing and all that. It's like, no, how you write the report. Meaning, you better put everything in that report to cover you. Don't leave anything for chance. Hey, the guy charged at me. you got multiple equipment items on you to protect you and the people you need to protect.
Yeah.
Instead of like struggling with them over something that may not be as dangerous as a gun, how about you just let them take it from you and pull out your gun and shoot them? Why? Because at that point you were fear for your life. So I paid a lot of attention when he said that bottle was thrown at me. And I was in fear for my life because it's bullshit. But it's about the way you write the report. Because when you go to trial, when you go to a hearing, they don't care about anything else. They're going to look exactly at your report and the words that you put in those reports. And the moment you put certain things in your report, it'll trigger them. And they'll be like, oh, we got to look into this deeper because, as they told Wayne, certain things you didn't cover. Like, you didn't even bring up the broken bottle. Your partner had to bring that up.
Yeah.
And it seemed at the time when you're watching that event happen, it seemed so minuscule. The moment I heard that bottle break down, I said, oh, that's his way out. Because that's the first thing you're going to say. The bottle was thrown at me. And I didn't know if he was going to use the broken part that was possibly left in his hand as a weapon to stab me. And because him having a broken bottle is technically a deadly weapon, whatever force I deem necessary to stop that threat, I can do.
Man. Let's go to the next one. I'm telling you, man, this is great. Is this crazy?
Oh shit! Now they're gonna be like, wait a minute, I thought he was a drug dealer. I know, right?
Yeah, yeah. Listen, two more episodes. They're gonna think I'm a Baltimore resident, and they're gonna think you're a Baltimore police officer. Oh man. Anyway, short and quick, FBI. They watching the boys do what they do best, playing surveillance in the back. Now, here's the funny thing about this, which really isn't funny. They couldn't even tell the FBI was following them. They sitting in the car back, straight recon, and they these dudes. I mean, they listen. The bottom line is they don't feel like they could be touched, so they're just acting.
Even good recon. This nigga came straight from McDonald's. He literally just pulled up behind the scene. They said, "I'm gonna stop my car here so I can see everything."
Yeah, this shit is it's completely laughable.
Yeah. Damn it! Why aren't you, this whole time you're just thinking about, like, again, as you said, they just feel so untouchable because if you're in that situation, I'm assuming as a dirty cop, maybe you would skate. Matter of fact, fuck that. As a cop who's pulled over someone, I don't know who you're with. I don't know if you have a crew. Damn it, if my head ain't supposed to be on the swivel looking at every car up and down that block.
Yeah,
to make sure there's not a perceived threat somewhere else.
Yeah, another car kind of slows up by them. He tells them to keep going, but at that moment now, you're drawing attention. Peep the area. Look around.
I found it funny when that other car slowly pulled up and they said, "Man, keep it moving."
Yeah,
nigga, that car was creeping up on you. I would assume you would have pulled your gun. Fuck, keep it moving. No, why are you creeping up on me that slow?
Yeah.
But again, he's on the phone with his baby mama, so
more to come from that next episode, I'm sure, because they got them red-handed. They're just now going to just continue to build their report. So listen, I feel like possibly some of you all may not be interested in the whole Nicole Steele aspect of this, but I will tell you that it's super significant because she is, and like if it's not the action, then you're understanding the toning and almost like the certain climax of the city at the time. She is breaking down the political aspects, and she's also breaking down like the state aspects. And with her bringing up, which I had totally forgot about this, the slow down method in terms of what the policing was doing. This was immediately after Freddie Gray. And with that, this technically tells you that like there's almost like a whatever. It's a cross battle between the courts, the police, the feds, the state, the Justice Department, everybody. Well, I said the feds, but the FBI and then the Justice Department, who are kind of on the same side, but still, everybody's all looking inward right now because everybody's trying to understand what's happening, and actions are causing reactions. I mean, think about it. You say like, oh, the mayor's responsible for this, so get another mayor out. But where does the mayor allegiance lie, and who actually want the mayor to be in office? Because what that may benefit another thing, like the police right now, they're saying new mayor, we do all this. Excuse me, police wants same mayor, you do all this, they get the re-election. You obviously want a new mayor because that's going to change the whole hierarchy of everything, and obviously may provide solutions, which, you know, spoiler, no, but the biggest thing is that everybody is understanding that somebody's answering to everybody. Police, Baltimore police, city police knows they got to answer to the mayor answer to the feds at times, or state. All these different things are happening, and while politics could be confusing to some folks, and it is a lot, this is very extensive. Nicole Steele's character is literally breaking it down. That's why some of her dialogue is kind of slow, kind of elementary at times, because it wants you to understand, like, this was not just police brutality on the streets. This was not just the Baltimore City Police Office. This was going up to the mayor's office, and then the Justice Department was looking down into it. And even though that there was like a settlement that went down with the Freddie Gray case, it was still a bunch of BS going on that didn't stop things. Like, they cut the check, and then they just kept going. So
why stop?
Yeah,
why? That's all it was. Why stop?
That's it. Going back to Wayne, because it seems like weekly we get these Wayne moments in this episode where Wayne has to kick back with the uniform off. He goes to the cookout. He sees Black Cop and Danny, who is living lavish with his patron.
Hey, when he said patron, patron though, I'm just fucking with you, but there's no way. Spelled Patron. I know it's spelled Patron, but dog, come on. That was hilarious.
Yeah. Here's again, when I talk about the developments of the Wayne Jenkins monster, y'all see him as being authority because he's beating people ass, but understand that his actions ain't cashing checks. Yeah. He says, I can get you fucked up off my $15 bottle of Vladimir or Cisco or Saveca. All these
2020. I don't know. When he said I get fucked up for $20, I'm thinking, Nick, what? What are you drinking? Ice House? Like, what the hell are you? Was that natural? That the other beer that
Natty Bo, Natty Lights, all of them. He got it all for you. And then you say, what is this shit you're drinking? You're drinking Patron. And I'll be honest, like I drink Patron here, there, no there sometimes, but like Patron is a status quo. You drink Patron because you like it emphasizes that you're drinking luxury. It's not the best tequila, folks, by none, but like it's that's the importance here is understanding like we're all at the same job. Like I get like you may be, this rank, but like how is your whole life very much different than what my life is? And this is where the gears are turning, because he's understanding that there's more to policing than just street authority, should I say, in office authority, and whatnot. And this is the extra piece of the puzzle where he's like, oh, y'all here getting that street money. Mm-hmm. Cool. So that's why y'all flexing like this. This is why you can toss the extra money and stuff like that. And it is also important too, because when you look at how Danny treats him, he is belittling him. He is decharacterizing him. He's just like, like you're not doing nothing out there. Like he talking about when he getting his overtime check, and so be it. But like he's like, nah, we out here getting money each and every move we do. So, Wayne's still figuring out, but he's understanding like how it all works. Now goes to his bail bond dude, Donnie, who takes him to the strip club.
Of course, man, congrats. Look, one thing, I know this may not be the best representation of it. Baltimore has amazing strip clubs, though.
Yeah, dude. Norma Jeans is still up. I forget the other one. Was it Choices? I think that was the name of it. Yeah, they got a whole street of them there. But Norma Jeans don't get enough love, but it is a big strip club. I think definitely. Because I think it's traditional. That's why, because now you got all these like special attraction ones like Stadium and all the ones in Atlanta and whatnot. So yeah, but Norma Jeans is definitely still brings in. Yo Gotti's there like every other week, so I'll just leave it at that. So so yeah. Yeah, he takes him to the strip club. So I wanted to ask you, what's this whole establishment here with the bail bonds, dude?
That's what I'm wondering. Like, what type of form of relationship do they have? Is it kickbacks?
Yeah,
Possibly. Because, you know, it could be a situation as Wayne arrests them. You
And
get
then
them. You get the bail for them.
get the recommendation.
Yeah. Like,
maybe.
I'm assuming that's the possibility of relationship they have with one another here. I mean, it's nothing better for a bail bondsman than to be hooked up with a police officer.
Yeah, it's actually
Like,
not bad for business.
Yeah, that's perfect business. So I'm assuming that, or again, they didn't really go into much detail about their relationship, but we clearly see there is one there.
Yeah.
Even him saying about, oh man, you big time now. Like,
Yeah.
like, you know, when a nigga compliments you that way, they compliment you that way because you have aligned businesses.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I guess we can make quick predictions. Yeah, I agree. I think they are. He's trying to figure out how to make some more money. He figures like, if I'm cool with this dude, I arrest him, make him get money. You kick me back, you give him. And that's what he
There you
said.
go.
Referrals and recommendations. He says things are a little bit slow, but I mean that means you have to arrest more people in order for it to happen. Also, they're not trying to arrest people because
Not even a little bit.
yeah, little bit of conflict of priorities here, but whatever. But you'll see how that plays out going forward. So now we go to Wayne at the bar after he done had his. I don't even know if it's the same night, but yeah, he had the strip club experience with that lovely black lady and his $200 bottle of Brute, probably.
You know that's what it was.
But next we see him at a local bar with another cop. It's the same cop as earlier. Was it? I don't know who the other cop is. Some other alias cop. Not important. But they started to talk about Suitor, who they got to come out. Now, Suitor isn't wearing glasses here. Now, this is why I got a little bit confused, but it's okay because we'll figure it out going forward. The first thing is, you know, Suitor, I guess he doesn't appear to be the one to come out much, but they got him out. You know, Jenkins is definitely fried right now, and he's having a good time. He's got the rounds going and whatnot. But Suitor has to hit the head. And as soon as he goes around, they look back and say, can we trust him? I'm going to let you break this down. Read the room here. What's happening in these developments?
It just feels like they're trying to fill him out more than anything else. That's what it felt like. Like, okay, you need to fill him out because we need to see which way he leans. Because in the police, with police officers, because I'm gonna stop acting and saying things that make y'all think. With police officers, what happens is, depending on who you are, you don't trust everybody. I don't know how you're gonna lean on certain things, so I don't want to trust you on certain things. And it's clear with Suitor that it almost feels like he was always going to be a part of their team, and that's why they had to get more information on him. And that's highly important to do because the last thing you want is somebody who you don't really know popping up on you and then joining with you, because it can mess up whatever corruption you have set up here.
Yeah.
Like, what precedes is our first time seeing Wayne take money. I can guarantee it, that's not the first time that happened. And because it's not, and you knew this dude was going to be part of that unit with you, you got to test. You got to make sure, like, hey, how's this going to go? Is he a straight shooter? Is he one of them cops that want to tell every goddamn thing humanly possible? Like, I think it was just a filling out session. And it had to be a filling out session based on them getting information beforehand that he was going to be put with them.
Yeah. The only thing I want to add is that it's quick that, like, you know, me and you go out and drink, you know, we're having fun, we're kicking back, conversation. To me, the dynamic of him and his boy having drinks to automatically kicking into business mode tells you that there was motive from the jump.
So. Yep.
Having him come out and say, all right, we need to read him. What you think about him? And the thing about him, asking what you think about him, is I don't believe Wayne to be genuine in any of his conversations. Everything has a script. everything is part of a plan. And the reason why is because when you see how he was talking to the dude at the car wash, you know, everything about his demeanor and everything is just always talking. This is a certain type, a slick talker, almost in a sense.
Yeah.
Like you can just tell, like he's just always about something. It's always something else. Like there's nothing genuine about it. So him asking his cop buddy, like, hey, so you know what you think about him? He's trying to just, at this point now, he's just trying to collaborate a whole idea about him. He doesn't really care what he thinks, but he's just going to take a little bit of ideas. Mm-hmm. He doesn't even care if this dude was like, oh, I think he's good. He's already has this mindset saying, like, I have to find out more about him regardless. And to me, immediately, I thought he was going to test him in the sense of just seeing his decision making. I didn't think, as you emphasized earlier, I didn't think he was going to almost like, you know, pull out a policy on him.
Hey,
and that's what his slick talker was doing. He said, listen, this is what we're doing. He didn't give him an answer, leave him
a choice
for an answer.
Yeah,
choice.
No choice necessary.
This is what we're doing.
Hey.
You know, he pumping his head up, super cop. That's a hell of a move, super cop. You did the thing, you know. And at the same time, Wayne talking tough guy, who he's really not tough, but he's talking tough guy.
But keep in mind, he's talking to. I don't want to interrupt you, but then I want you to finish because I want you to finish your thought there, and then think about. He's talking really tough to that guy, to the lead guy for that shop.
Mm-hmm.
But that guy's constantly calling him by his first name. How much crooked dealings do them two have to do with each other already? And Wayne is just using it because here's the weird part about Wayne. He knew the money was there. So the goal was always to get the money.
Holy fuck. The whole thing was a setup.
Yeah, the whole thing was a setup. He wanted to get the money.
Didn't even put that together.
Because the moment he came in there and he like, fuck you, Wayne. And man, first things first. No matter how cool you are with a cop, we are not on first name basis.
Yeah.
Cops and criminals tend not to be on first name basis.
Yeah.
Unless there's dealings with one another. And dude was looking at him like, I can't believe you coming up in here like this. And that's the reason he did it. And he knew it was money in there. And the moment he found that money, you're like, oh man, I got it. Because this is the perfect test.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get you, I'm gonna get Mr. Clean. I'm gonna get you dirty.
Yeah.
And we ain't got to worry about you again.
Yep. I don't have nothing else to add there. You're entirely right. I like that perspective of it. And that is, I'm very much in agreement with you, like for sure. But yeah, I definitely was like, wait, he is calling him by his first name. Like, what the hell? When did they meet?
Hey.
What's that first name basis shit about? You know what I mean? So
don't no cop walk up to you and say, hey, my first name is Walter. It's, hey, you see my badge?
Yeah.
You see my nameplate? What the nameplate say?
Yeah.
That's what you call me.
Also,
most cops don't know each other's first name. That's the weird part. Ask most cops if they know each other's first name.
For sure.
They call you your last name and they call that shit religiously. Trust me, they call it religiously.
I was just about to say, and isn't he in plain clothes? So he's not wearing a badge. So, but still, even his last name is still showing his badge. His first name is super personal.
It would show because any vest you wear, any Kevlar you wear, especially police issue, has a little strip applied. So they give you a little strip to put on your jump, even if you're plain clothes. Because the moment you put on that vest, it has to show that on there.
Okay.
So folks still know it's officer such and such, badge number, blah, 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 blah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, they definitely think you Baltimore police now. Anyway, last thing for the night is what you brought up about before is again, we're going back to Allers being interrogated and you know, this whole perception of him being hero cop, you know, they're really setting up the move now. And it's like I said, is when they say like, oh, you never hurt nobody. But now they bring up Davon Robinson, who it looks like they're going to pin that murder on him. Ow. Hey, listen, they called the dude a supplier. Maybe he really is a supplier. Maybe he's working internally. Who knows? And like you said, any attachment, any involvement, any cause and effect to lead to that sir has everything to do with you. And we're going to see how they go. And the lawyer says like, oh, well, we're going to need a recess.
because when he said, the moment he said, I need to confirm with my client. You know what he told him?
Fuck. I'm out of here.
10, 15, Maybe.
Listen, and you're entirely right, because I believe he got 15, but
Yeah. It was that was the best case scenario. Like, hey, and keep in mind, they didn't do this. They didn't bring up this case for no reason. Remember, the first thing they said,
you got 15 years.
we need you to tell us everything. And he kept on saying, I can't. So the only way you getting 15 in that situation, you telling everything.
Yeah.
Come back in here. Now tell everything.
Yeah.
And we'll give you, and I am freestyling this. I don't know what his actual charges was, but I'm assuming if it's not a manslaughter, it could be second-degree murder for 15 years, possibly, but possibly manslaughter. And once you get that, that's 10 to 15. And the moment you get that, you're only getting that deal because you're snitching.
Yep.
You're telling us everything we need to know.
Yeah, and this so for context, this was January 2016. I just quickly looked it up. He got charged at the age of 49 to 15 years in May of 2018. And let me see if I can see what these charge was. He got charged in Linthicum Heights, 15 years in prison, followed by the 3 years supervised release for racketeering, conspiracy racketeering offenses, and including 9 robberies. So he still got a deal.
Oh, so they didn't even charge it. Oh, they slickly didn't charge him with the murder. They charged him with everything else. Well, yeah, because the racketeering.
According to his plea agreement, stole money from victims, swore out a false affidavits, submitted false official incident reports. I mean, everybody's getting that last little 3.
Hey, put like this. What this is telling y'all is, even if you like this show, you know what you're gonna like even more? The real true story of it. Look up all this information on all these folks, Joe.
Yeah.
This is crazy.
Yeah. And I will say,
even look up the mayor and find out who the mayor was that replaced this mayor, and then what happened with that person, Joe. Man, Baltimore crazy, shawty.
I love Baltimore. Listen, the other thing is too, I want to quickly say before we roll out, is that like the casting's phenomenal. I mean, like these folks literally look like these folks, and it just makes the story just that much real. So, but yeah, we'll start rambling, folks, because we'll be back each and every week, back next week for episode 4. Let us know your thoughts about tonight's episode. Just, I don't even know where to even kind of navigate you to in terms of your thoughts and your reactions, but what are entirely crazy episodes of developments and understanding how this policing system works. Like, it's crazy, man. Quite make you want to think. I could imagine some folks understanding this on the fly, saying like, "Oh, I know what I'm about to do for my career," because you would have never thought they would have got caught, because everybody was untouchable for years. And even with the Freddie Gray, settlement, they were still out here doing all this. Happened at the Freddie Gray. Yeah. Just remember that after the major settlement, they're still like, all right, well, it's not like the whole world wasn't looking at us. Fuck it, let's get back to work. And here we go. So. Crazy, bro. Crazy. But yeah, let us know in the comments your thoughts about tonight's episode. And folks, Nigerian Lucas, we're back each and every week for your recap of We Own This City. Peace out, folks.